Before there was Caitlin Clark, there was chaos, grit, and greatness. The Indiana Fever might just be the most interesting franchise in WNBA history, and we've got the receipts. Here are 25 reasons the Fever aren't just a team, they're the WNBA's most unpredictable star. The Fever joined the W in 2000, bringing pro women's basketball to a state that already lived and breathed the game. Back then, Lifetime aired games next to NBC and ESPN, part of a rare moment when women's sports were finally getting primetime shine. The timing was poetic. Just 2 years before Caitlin Clark was born, Indiana planted the roots she'd eventually set on fire. No one gave Indiana a chance. The Lynx were on a record 27-win tier and seemed unbeatable. But Katie Douglas came back from an ankle injury to torch them with 7 threes in the semis, and Catchings silenced critics in Game 4 with a Finals MVP performance. That win didn't just break a dynasty, it lifted an entire city. 3 finals in 7 years wasn't luck, it was war. In 2009, the Fever knocked off the Detroit Shock and ended a dynasty, setting off a rivalry that spilled into elbows, ejections, and receipts. By 2012 and 2015, the tension shifted to Minnesota, where Fever Lynx became must-watch basketball. 2 hard-nosed teams, one shared hate for losing, and no love lost. Herb Simon didn't just buy a team. He built a basketball ecosystem. After moving from Brooklyn, he and his brother, Mel, rescued the Pacers in '83, then launched the Fever in '99 to bring women's hoops into the same family. Gainbridge Fieldhouse became the shared throne room, but everyone in Indy knows, when the Fever are cooking, the energy hits different. Tamika Catchings was born with severe hearing loss and spent her childhood reading lips and getting teased for her hearing aids and taped-up glasses. She hated how she sounded, hated standing out, until she found basketball. On the court, nobody cared how she talked, only how hard she played.
Basketball chose me, an awkward, lanky, introverted tomboy born with a hearing disability, a speech impediment, and a will to overcome obstacles, dream big, and to change the world.
In 2021, Nike dropped 3 new Fever jerseys celebrating Indiana's battlefield nostalgia: Heroin White, Explorer Navy, and a Stranger Things Rebel Black Red that leaned into Hawkins' upside-down energy. Every stitch, from Monument Circle-inspired stripes to Lady Victory atop the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, was a love letter to Indianapolis. Gainbridge Fieldhouse isn't just a venue, it's a basketball temple buzzing with legacy. Home to both the Pacers and the Fever, this modern iteration of Conseco Fieldhouse stands on hallowed Hoosier ground, layering Fever passion over Pacers history and Midwestern basketball worship. In 2009, while the Pacers stumbled through another rough season, the Fever caught fire. They flipped a losing record into a 22-12 finish, clinched the top seed in the East, and made Indiana basketball fun again. Catchings was coming off an injury, critics had counted them out, and the arena wasn't even full yet. But by season's end, they were the #1 seed, and the city was finally paying attention. Tamika Catchings spent 11 seasons chasing that moment. She played through torn ligaments, hearing loss, heartbreak losses, and critics who said she was all hustle but no ring. In 2012, she silenced all of it, dropping 25 in the clincher and walking off with a Finals MVP like it was always hers. Tamika Catchings is the only player in Fever history with her jersey retired. When her number 24 went up in 2017, she became the first Fever player in franchise history to have that honor. In a league still building its legacy, Catchings didn't wait for permission. She carved her name into the rafters. On June 19, 2025, Natasha Howard hit 4,000 career points without a single spotlight asking for it. No hype video, no countdown ticker, just a bucket, a nod, and back on defense. She became the 52nd player in WNBA history to hit the mark. But ask anyone who's guarded her, and they'll tell you she's been a problem for years.
Your MVP is Natasha Howard.
Kelsey Mitchell grew up watching her dad coach high school ball, sneaking into gyms before school, and getting up shots while the world was still sleeping. In games, she rarely cracked a smile, even when she was dropping 40. People call her underrated, but that's just because she doesn't ask for your attention, she earns it.
The Indiana Fever select Aliyah Boston.
Aliyah Boston didn't just go #1. She walked in like the floor already belonged to her. The first South Carolina player ever taken with the top pick, she made Rookie of the Year look casual, anchoring the Fever's defense and smiling through the chaos like she'd been here for years. People talk about potential. Boston showed up with proof. The Fever used to play in front of half-full seats and get buried on local broadcasts. Now, they're worth $370 million in climbing, with merch flying, ticket prices jumping, and media execs tripping over each other to get a piece. The blueprint was simple: draft stars, embrace chaos, and turn Indiana into the W's hottest ticket. Designer Todd Radom sketched the Fever logo in 1999 as a time machine back to Indiana's golden era of hoops, inspired by the Hoosiers' high school grit. The retro flair was never just style. It was an identity tattooed on the city's basketball soul. By the time the draft rolled around, Caitlin Clark had already sold out college arenas, cracked nightly sports center, and turned Logo 3s into a national obsession. The Fever held the #1 pick and the weight of the league's future in their hands. Rookie Caitlin Clark didn't just brighten the Fever, she lit them up. Over 17,000 fans filled Gainbridge every night in 2024, and Indiana outdrew the Pacers for the first time ever. When she steps on the court, the arena vibrates. Indiana Fever became the first WNBA team to hit 1 million followers on Facebook, and they did it without relying on hype cycles or viral stunts. Fans bonded over highlight drops, behind-the-scenes locker room clips, and mentorship moments from Catchings and Clark. It wasn't a marketing play. It was fandom built on authenticity, proving that an Indiana spark can light up screens everywhere. When Caitlin Clark's first game aired in 2024, 2.1 million viewers tuned in. It was the most watched WNBA debut in over 20 years, surpassing even Diana Taurasi's 2004 opener. She scored 20 points, showing a fire for hire mindset from day one. Clark didn't just arrive, she crashed the broadcast, shifting how America watches women's basketball. On July 19, 2008, the Fever stepped onto a court laid in Arthur Ashe Stadium, the first ever outdoor regular season pro basketball game in history. Facing the Liberty under sweltering sun and swirling wind, they played gritty, street ball style. Katie Douglas dropped 20, and the Fever pulled off a 71-55 win. It was more than a novelty, it was a statement. Seated under the sky, 19,393 fans witnessed Indiana's gritty game rise to match the moment. Tamika Catchings didn't retire. She just changed uniforms. From 2017 to 2022, she ran the Fever front office with the same focus and fire she brought to game day, building rosters and holding the standard. By 2024, she was co-chairing NBA All-Star Weekend in Indy, because when Tamika's in the room, Indiana still listens. Fever was chosen to match Indiana's all-consuming obsession with basketball, loud, relentless, and impossible to shake. Designer Todd Radom, known for Super Bowl logos and baseball classics, gave it a retro twist pulled from Hoosier gems and grainy game reels. The result wasn't just a logo, it was a badge of basketball religion. Stephanie White wasn't just from Indiana, she was Indiana. Grew up in a one-stoplight town where everybody knew when she dropped 40. At Seeger High, the gym filled before the bell rang, and folks said her jump shot had a Southern Indiana twang. Years later, when she walked back through the doors as Fever head coach, it felt less like a hire and more like a homecoming. Caitlin Clark didn't just play her rookie season, she streamed it. A full-on Swiftie, she quietly attended Taylor's era shows, even meeting Taylor's mom and Travis Kelsey. In 2024, Taylor sent Clark 4 bags of merch, a handwritten note calling Clark inspiring, and promised to hit up a Fever game, which felt less like a celebrity shout-out and more like 2 women supporting women in real time. The Fever had never won a Commissioner's Cup before 2025, and when they reached the final, they had to do it without Caitlin Clark, who was sidelined by an ankle tweak just days before tip-off. The spotlight shifted, and Natasha Howard snatched it. She dropped 16 and 12, led an 18-0 second-half run, and took home MVP honors. Indiana stunned the Lynx and proved something bigger than a title. They're more than a one-star show. They're a problem.
This is my daughter.